18 times Americans proved we're the dumbest bunch of Yee-Haws out there. When there's a comment online that's completely factually incorrect, bet money on it. It's coming from an American. All right, let's hop into it. Hope y'all are doing great. My name is Mason. I'm coming to you from Canada. I'm on the West Coast in British Columbia. Let's get into it, shall we? Number one, the American who thought their ancestry meant more than it did. I'm a Celt myself, Irish specifically. My ancestry is from Munster County. Munster isn't a county, it's a province. You're gonna mansplain Ireland to me when I'm Irish? A man with an unwashed ass has an opinion again. Okay. I'm Irish. You're American. I'm pretty confident I know my country better than you absolute gowl. I don't know what gowl means specifically, but it does not sound like it's good. It does not sound like it's good at all. It sounds... I kind of want to learn what it means and how bad it is, but Irish insults. All right. That's a thing on the thing that I got to learn about. Number two, the American who had the wrong Georgia. There we go. Georgia is a country as well as it's a state in the U.S. When was Georgia founded? The year 1008. And because the United States totally existed in the 11th century. Oh, sweet summer children. Sweet summer children. Georgia is a beautiful country. I have a friend, actually, that's from Georgia. And, the beautiful rolling hills there, so green and just wonderful. I'd love to visit there someday. In the Caucasus Mountains. Caucasus Mountains. I read The Cossack, a novel by... Who's that by? Dostoevsky? Anyways, it's really good. If y'all are into that sort of thing. The American who is very sure that nobody ever calls it the 4th of July. Yeah, but can anyone look me in the eye and say that they verbally read out dates like, it is the 7th of October, 2022, like you're saying it's October 7th, 2022. When is the American Independence Day again? July 4th, which is how I hear the majority of people say it. Laugh my ass off. Yeah, Americans always say the 4th of July. The 4th of July! We're gonna have hot dog eating championships and fireworks. The American who is never, ever a foreigner. Americans are foreign now? Yeah, foreign when they're in another country. Do you think as an American you are not foreign when in another country? Yeah, American. Anybody who's literally not from the country that they're in is a foreigner, right? Pretty much. I was just on vacation. I was a foreigner the whole time. Everywhere I was in a foreign place. The locals are not foreigners. They are locals. People native to that country. The American who wanted, quote unquote, real numbers. How tall is that in real height? Just, what? 2.2 meters. Yeah, but in like real height though. 2.2 meters is 220 centimeters. Yeah, but like in real measurements. 0.022 kilometers. Google answered my question, 7'2". Yeah, this is a funny one because I believe I'm like 183 centimeters or something. But I think often even Canadians, just where I am, we do use feet. And there is a lot of contradictions in measurements and things that people use. Like lumber, for instance, it's not measured, I don't believe anyway, when it comes to shipping and selling it. It's by feet. They do it by feet, right? I believe they do anyways. I could be wrong, but yeah, I will usually say if somebody asks my height, I'm going to say 5'11". I'm a hair short of 6 foot, basically. Yeah, contradictions. We're all full of contradictions. The American who is pretty sure everyone uses English and cars. The sentence structure is wrecking my brain. I haven't been on a computer in 3 weeks, so I'm going to ease back into it. Why are these screenshots always in some European language? Everyone lives in Europe except you. Well, not everyone. Hope you all are enjoying those gas prices. No need for that. I'll just catch the next bus to the nearest hospital to treat me from the burn you just gave me. Shame I won't have to take out the 17th loan to pay for it this year. My favorite kind of metaphor for the American medical system in a film anyways is, that's a good movie, John Q. If you haven't seen that one, it's Denzel. His son needs like a heart transplant or some sort of very expensive surgery. He has insurance, but the insurance company won't cover it, and he kind of takes the hospital hostage to get the surgery completed. Good movie though, and kind of a exaggerated metaphor for the American medical system. But yeah, I like how this guy's basically saying, well, I'll get some public transit, which is really efficient and really, really cheap here in Europe, instead of everybody driving cars around. I think it is ridiculous. Like in a lot of countries, it's not just the US or in Canada or North America, but some places, everybody's driving their own individual vehicle. I think we could do a lot better. I believe we will start doing better, hopefully. But the problem is the very rich people of the world, they don't care about, improving things. They care about making more money and having a consumer base who consume, and they view value in a person. Their value in their eyes of a person is how much that person can consume, basically. Not any human aspect, not any artistic or intrinsic value. It's about how much they can consume and how much money they can insert into the economy so they can extract more and more. People like Elon Musk, talking about, I saw a clip with him the other day speaking about how essentially he was saying, well, in the future, robots are going to be, what did he say? They're going to saturate all human needs. So, and then he said, the robot's going to do a thing for you before you even think about asking it to. And you're going to have robots doing everything. And so it was a very it's basically an extrapolation of the predictive elements of WALL-E. All the very, very obese humans who just are surrounded by screens that have, cat videos and like just ridiculous short form content, and the robots are doing everything for them, and they're just floating around, no exercise, no nature. And the funny thing about these billionaires is they're very out of touch, I think. They think that people actually want that people don't want to go outside and go for a walk in the forest with their dog or their family and enjoy nature, and then, go sit by the river and read a book for an afternoon with a little picnic, or go fishing, or go in the mountains and camp. Like they really are, yeah. So hopefully they don't, but that's what they want for the future. They want mass consumerism and people just plugged in online. I think we should all get rid of our smartphones and use flip phones. Because when you really think about it, there's millions of people that are now almost, to make it into like a hot take, living the same life. Scrolling, looking at the same trash, doing the same garbage, same dopamine overload consistently day after day. But yeah, on to number 8. The American who is a geography expert. Passenger rail transportation, USA versus Europe. US needs to catch up. Infrastructure is poor and expensive. Also, if you want clean, this is a good start. What's the American going to say? Please show these maps to the same scale. Europe is about the size of Texas. Wrong. Texas is huge, and these photographs, it is quite a stark contrast, isn't it? Europe is smaller. It is more condensed. Yes, there is something to say about that. But rail infrastructure and public transportation, there's a reason it doesn't or hasn't been expanded upon in North America as much, and it's because poor governance and oil companies, and there's a lot of reasons, obviously, but public transit in general is pretty poor unless you live in a large metropolitan area in Canada, for sure. Our transit system here where I live is pretty trash. I can ride my bike around, and I do. I'll ride my bike some days to get groceries or go to work. Often I drive my bike to work. I ride my bike to work. But yeah, Europe's network of transportation is amazing, and the EU helps with that, of course, because you can take a train across the entire continent in such a short amount of time. So yeah, just a ignorant response and no willingness to have any humility or learning moments from the American. The American who's never heard of anyone taking a train between two neighboring European countries. LOL, it would still take all day to get from Toronto to New York City on a train or 45 minutes to fly. Same thing in Europe. Nobody takes a train from Germany to France. There's no reason to even speak to this person or comment on this one. The American who couldn't figure out why this birthday form wasn't working. So May 16th just doesn't exist. It even says right here though, day, month, year. This is just I'm not even going to say it. The American who considers George Washington and Michael Jordan to be more significant in history than Napoleon. Yeah, Napoleon reshaped the entirety of Europe, basically. Most significant people in human history. Second draft. Jesus, George Washington, Julius Caesar, Alexander the Great, Albert Einstein, Abraham Lincoln, William Shakespeare, MLK Jr., Darwin, Aristotle, Steve Jobs, Michael Jordan, Napoleon da Vinci. It's yeah. At least they have included non-Americans in their list. Often you'll see these lists from Americans, and it'll just be all Americans when they talk about most significant people in human history. And there'll just be a list of 15 Americans. But at least they have various historical figures that aren't American here. Steve Jobs. The American who thinks all of YouTube is in America or something. Yeah, this is America. Got to speak English at least a little bit. This is Germany. I'm not from America, which is why I'm talking German in all my videos. Yeah, YouTube's a big website with creators from all over the planet. From every, almost every single country, I'm sure. I'm sure there's YouTube creators from every country. You can go to the Korean side of YouTube or whatever side of YouTube you want to go to, and there's videos in different languages. The titles are in different languages. Pretty cool thing. Pretty cool feature. The American who has very clearly never been to Europe. I wish I lived in a city where I didn't need a car. That would be easy. In Vancouver, I used to live there. You don't need a car if you live in the metropolitan area. You definitely don't need a car. That said, if you want to go on a big hiking trip to Squamish or go to Whistler, go out of the city, it can get a little annoying, but there's still ways around that. But a lot of European cities have incredible walkability. Vancouver's alright, and Toronto's transit system's pretty good, and most metro areas have pretty solid transit systems. You still need to be ready to walk though, and Americans could use more walking, believe me. Move to Europe. Plenty cities you can live without owning a car. Europe sucks. It's like stepping back in time 30 years. No tech, no food, no chains. No chains? Are they speaking about fast food chains? Because that's not a benefit to have a million McDonald's or whatever garbage food chain they're speaking about. What do they mean by no food and no tech? This person's just incredibly ignorant. No hotels that aren't mom and pop tiny. Oh, wow. They stay in a hotel with 1 billion people. It's fine to visit, but that's about it. This person is just incredibly stupid. Both Americans here. Puerto Rico is killing me. It's funny to take Spanish with people from different Spanish-speaking countries because the ones from South American countries are like, yeah, no one uses vosotros. We don't know what it's doing here. And the ones from Europe are like, if you don't give our beloved second person plural its due respect, the hounds will find you. Why would they speak Spanish in Europe? I don't know. There's a country there called Spain. Just an idea. But Spanish is a language, but it's not a nationality. They speak Spanish in Mexico and Puerto Rico. That's amazing and stuff, but it's not like that. That's really amazing. I love how Tumblr is full of people who aren't afraid to hang around the bottom rung of the moron ladder. I don't know what Tumblr is. It's the thing to make drinks, right? You make me feel better about every stupid thing I've ever done in my life, including the time I glued fake mustaches to my eyebrows. That doesn't sound that stupid. That sounds funny. The American who got a lot wrong here, but also mentioned no guns twice. Do Europeans still dream of moving to the US? Highly doubtful. I'd give up several fingers and an eye to be born in a country of opportunity like Norway and not a backwards, uncivilized, economically and mentally decayed wannabe empire standing in the shadow of fascism. Do you really want third world socialism? No guns, no cars, no food, no good military, no guns. The double no guns, wow. No freedom of speech and fascism. Wow. Every word you just said is wrong. The American who has never picked up a history book. It's crazy that the US is the only modern country that has banned slavery. Wow. Incredibly stupid comment once again. Yeah, slavery's been in almost the whole world. So many different societies and countries, empires have employed slavery, and usually to expand their empires, and quite a imperially used to it. The American who's pretty sure they hate us because they ain't us. Workers in Europe, I will be taking the summer off because I need a little suntan. Workers in America, I'll be using one of my 3 paid vacation days to undergo open heart surgery. Yeah, I think if you work in a job where you have good work-life balance, it's pretty important. I just took 24 days off, and I haven't even gone back to work yet. I still have a few more days, but it was nice to disconnect and be just away and not worry because I'm still getting paid every week on vacation. But even so, all Europeans want to live the American dream. The American nightmare is what I believe they're talking about. What is the American dream anyways? A fantasy, a facade that you can somehow become like what? Jeff Bezos? No. Bezos figures out ways to not pay taxes and be a billionaire anyways. And finally, the American who sounded very sure about this. Love the Scheiße. Me too. Is he from Germany? I had to rewatch. I don't know how that word is pronounced as written, but what he said is Scheiße, which is pretty common American saying. Is it? Yeah. They obviously don't know. I don't know how to call that the S thing in German, but they probably never seen it before, don't know what it is. Somehow our country elected an illiterate, lying, grifting, failed businessman to our highest office twice. He is now charged with 91 felonies and still has a rabid fan base of moronic voters. If that doesn't tell you how far our standards for education are falling, nothing else will. Yeah, social media, the internet is basically destroying us, and capitalism consumes everything eventually. So we got to figure it out. We got to figure out some things. Wealth inequality, housing crisis, medical crisis, lots of crises, but also a lot of doom and gloom if you use the internet a lot and look at the news and news cycles. I mean, if it bleeds, it leads, right? People are interested in kind of controversial and sensationalism. It's just natural human kind of propensity for trash, I guess. The old adage, you can't look away from the train crash, right? Because it's exciting. But yeah, I think we need to get outside more. Focus more on local issues, local governance, and have people involved in political at a local level. Figure out how to be more self-sufficient, but, with this housing crisis, people can't afford houses anyways. And they're just kind of working in the rat race to pay their bills and make the absolute travesty of the way our economic system works. You have banks that the whole banking system is so evil. Anyways, we'll see you on the next one, everybody.